Hey, what's going on, everybody, and welcome to another fabulous episode of What's the Tea with your host, the Sebastian Bonet. I'm your host, the Sebastian Alexander Bonet. Now, you may be wondering exactly why I am in all of this regalia. You know, I graduated about a year ago, almost a year ago to the day, you know that I'm a proud rattler of the Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University, otherwise known as FAMU. But I'm wearing this in a somber moment for the simple fact of this past weekend, November 20th, 19th, in Orlando, Florida, we have our historic Florida Classic, which is where FAMU plays Bethune-Cookman University. And it's a big weekend, one of the biggest games of the semester. But unfortunately, one of the head drum majors passed away, Mr. Robert Champion. I knew him. We met once or twice. I met him through a mutual friend of mine, but we were always cordial. It weren't like, we were ace boom cooms or anything of that nature, but when we saw each other, we'd give a heads up, how you doing, man, what's going on, and that was really about it. But he passed away. What was reported initially is that, he complained of on being on the bus heading back to the Rosen Plaza Hotel on International Drive in Orlando that he could not breathe. He got off the bus and then vomited, and they called 911. Some of the band members proceeded to give CPR, and he was rushed to Dr. Phillips Hospital. And in return, he was pronounced DOA, or dead on arrival. My first thought was hazing, because I went to FAMU. I matriculated at FAMU. I was there for 6 years. I was in the band. It's unfortunate that when you hear something like this, it can't be of natural causes. Your mind automatically goes to something that is negative. And so the Orange County Sheriff Department proceeded to install an investigation. They came up to, conclude or continue the investigation, and then they confirmed that his death is a direct result of hazing. Okay, I'm like, okay, the truth comes to the light. Or what my mama always say, what the wash don't get, the rinse will. And that's an old saying. Now, I don't know if y'all young folks don't know what that means. In the wash cycle, when you wash your clothes, you wash. And you wash it, and what the wash, that particular cycle won't get, the next cycle is the rinse cycle. And that gets out all the other impurities. So what the wash don't get, the rinse will. And ultimately, that's what came out, that this young man was hazed. Okay, so they suspended the ban, not they, our illustrious President Ammons suspended the ban from any further appearances, practice, anything. Now, my thing is, hell, the season over. They ain't got shit else to do unless they go on, something for, Christmas parades or New Year parades or something like that. They over, they done. They ain't got to do nothing else. So they was already going to be on break. So, okay, what did that do? Okay, so, the mama came up here, Mrs. Champion and Mr. Champion, the father, and, her son, she's like, well, why is my son there? And that's a valid question. Why? I sent my son here to go to school, to be in this, organization, collective organization, the student body, and where we should be celebrating thanks, we're worried about planning a funeral. And so, this morning, I'm at work, and I was talking to my grandmother and some other colleagues about it. I said, long behold, it's going to come down the pipe where they're going to fire Dr. White, who is the head of the music department. I'm at work this morning, breaking news. Sent yesterday a letter from President Ammons to the director of bands. His services are no longer needed. First off, he's on paid leave until December 23rd, and then from there, he's being dismissed. I knew that was going to happen, and I'm happy that it happened. Some of y'all might say, why would you say that? I value anybody that need a job. Don't get me wrong, because, times are hard, and I'm not trying to have anybody fired. But this has been a long-standing tradition in the shadow of FAMU. Hazing. In 1998, I did my research. This is what a scholastic person does. In 1998, what's his child's name? Clarinet player Ivory Lucky reported that he was being hazed. He says that he was struck 300 times by fellow performers during the 1998 hazing. That incident resulted in the suspension of 20 members from the band, a lawsuit filed by Lucky against the State Board of Regents, and injuries that Lucky says led to several weeks in the hospital and permanent physical and emotional scars. That's in 1998. I came up in the band in 1999. I did not finish that year because they wanted me to become a part of this member called the Whales, the White Whales. Okay, that's the tuba section. Okay, when we were practicing, if we missed a note, this is my sousaphone mouthpiece. I still have. When we were playing and we missed a note, the upperclassmen will come down and knock us on our knuckles while we're playing. And I'm doing this soft because this shit hurt. But they would come do while we're playing and knock us on our knuckles out while we're playing. And this just didn't happen in the sousaphone section. Anyone that had a mouthpiece, the baritones, the French horns, who else had mouthpieces? I can't think of anybody else at this present time. But that was a part of our hazing. And my thing is, you're not about to beat me for some local shit. I'm sorry. I can't go nowhere and say I'm a whale, I'm a clone, I'm a Gestapo, except maybe Miami or Atlanta, which really don't count. Which that really don't mean shit to nobody. I'm already big and black, so if I say I'm a whale, it sounds like I'm talking about myself. No. So, needless to say, I didn't finish that season. I regret it. I regret that I was not strong enough to say, look, I'm going to continue and be a part of this organization, but I'm going to be a part of it on my terms, not on your terms. And so I marched a couple of games. I'm like, oh, girl, y'all can have this shit. Good day, good evening, good night. Now, the sad part about it for me is that it kind of ruined my love of music that I had for live music. I still love it, but I was in band from middle school to high school. I was choral style, so when I came to FAMU, it was something different, something exciting. That was my dream, but I had these bitches that ruined it for me. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't fit into that mold. Or, you know, I was a choral style, kind of nerdy kind of boy, whatever the case may be. I went from Miami. I went high stepping and ghetto and all that. And I'm not saying everybody from Miami is ghetto, but honey, stereotypes come from somewhere. Anyways, so that happened in 1998. I came up, attempted, as you want to call it, came up in 1999. Now, in 1998 as well, there are records that have been put that parents, complaints also have been raised by parents. On October 20th, 1998, letters sent by several parents informed FAMU and Marching 100 officials that their children had been beaten and paddled during hazing incidents. Another mother wrote to the university to complain that her child was punched by students while their keys splintered rigid through their fists. Now, you know how I don't have any keys with me, but you know how you can get your fist and place the keys through the fist, and you hold them like Wolverine, and you punching somebody. What the fuck? Okay, next. So that's two hazing incidents right there. Ivory and the parents right there. Okay. So, you have in 2001. Let me get my notes together because I didn't highlight it. I'm trying to go back and do it. Now this is what happened in 2001. This is what Dr. White said. Julian White, the director of the Marching 100 and 28-year FAMU music professor, said that the administrators had made the prevention of hazing a priority in the past several years. He said that all new members of the band attended workshops where they were briefed on the state's anti-hazing law, the university's strict policy against hazing, and the consequences of hazing. Students caught hazing can be suspended or expelled from the university and can face criminal penalties. After the incident, back in 2001, Marcus Wayne Parker, 18, told police that he was injured in the March 100 hazing ritual, which he was paddled. Parker spent 5 days in serious condition with an acute renal failure. Honey, his ass was not working. That's ultimately what that means. They paddled him so hard that his ass would not work. He could not shit. Pardon my French. Alright. When kidneys failed to function properly before he was released Friday, Parker was sent home to Jacksonville. Alright. That happened. So, with all of that, After the incident involving Parker, 18 band members were suspended pending a police investigation. Despite a second round of suspensions during the term as director, White said he was unaware of any established hazing or initiation rituals in the band. Are you fucking kidding me? I mean, really, are you fucking kidding me? You were in the band back in 1947. Dude, really? You've been at FAMU, at this point was 28 years, and you are unaware of any kind of hazing that was going on? Really? Okay. So, after that, what happened with this particular lawsuit? After Florida put in place the anti-hazing bill, let's see, Marcus Palmer was awarded a whopping $1.8 million civil judgment for being beaten that took place as a freshman trumpet major. Now the persons, that's what he got in that situation. And it has not only been the band, and I know this is the focus now, but I'm talking about at the university as a whole. It was also Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. They had an issue, and I'm trying to figure out what the date is, and I'm not showing the date on here. I want to say it was about 4 years ago when this happened, because they're still suspended. But Michael Morton, 23, a former president of the FAMU Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity, was determined to be guilty of hitting a pledge hopeful Marcus Jones, 20, extremely hard with a wooden cane, so much that Jones eventually had to undergo surgery for his bruised backside. Morton received 2-year prison sentence from Circuit Court Judge Kathleen Decker. Also sentenced was Jason Harris, 25, from Jacksonville, Florida. Both Harris and Morton were taken from the courthouse in handcuffs, along with Richard Keith Allen II, a lawyer for Harris, who was found in contempt of court. So all this to say, and that's what I have right here, all this to say, FAMU has a history of hazing. And I commend President Ammons for firing Dr. White. I've met Dr. White, I've spoken to Dr. White, he knows my family, but one thing my mother taught me when I was growing up, right is right and wrong is wrong. When you know better, you do better, and you try to enforce, you try to in your position as the director of bands and the director of the music department, you have to set an example. And if you all follow by that good old boy system where, I know what's going on, but I'm going to sweep it on the road to protect you. You watch my back, I'll watch yours. What kind of shit is that? So I applaud President Ammons for sending a clear message that this shit will not be tolerated. Now, not only has President Ammons started his own investigations, now you have Orange County, not even Leon County, but you have Orange County. Wonderful county, city of Orlando, during their investigation, because it happened in their jurisdiction. Honey, I watch a lot of Law and Order, so I understand about jurisdiction. President Ammons decided to file his own investigation to see what was going on. Now, guess who else decided to file their own investigation with the Florida Department of Law Enforcement? Governor Rick Scott. He informed the public, the community, that he is forming his own investigation outside of Orange County, outside of President Ammons. The governor of the state of Florida, he's about to turn over a whole bunch of stones. He about to get some shit started, and I believe Dr. White is not going to be the only one to get fired. Shelby Chipman, Deneen, it's going to go down this tree. Lindsey Sargent, all of them. I don't want nobody to get fired, but they are trying to set precedent. And I understand what they're doing. And like I said, I commend Dr. Ammons for doing everything that he is doing, because this has been a haunting issue for my university. And you don't understand why people don't want to give back. Why people don't want to, give back when they know the money is going to go to the band and this, that, and the other. I give back, but I give back to my particular clubs and organizations that I was part of. I give back to the theater when I can. I give back to the concert choir when I can. Those are the organizations that I were a part of. I'm not going to give to the general body, because they put that money in places where it don't need to be, i.e. the band, when they do stupid shit like this. So, now this is the next part, and this is to my people that are wanting to be a part of an organization, be a part of the band, be a part of a fraternity, be a part of anything. Understand this. People will only do to you what you allow them to do. You don't want to get hazed? You can still become a member. It may be a little bit harder, but you need to stand up for what is right. Don't go with the crowd, because the crowd will get you killed. Look at Jesus. Look at Jesus. He didn't even go with the crowd and they still killed him. Understand your worth, young people. Understand what is right and what is wrong. They will only do what you allow them to do. If they say, bring me some groceries, you say, no thank you. What can they do? You make it very clear, you're not going to touch me. Bye-bye, go. I have a dog, so he's coming up near me. You make it very clear what you will and will not do. You know, not necessarily be subordinate, but you're not going to touch me. You're not going to call me out of my name. You're not going to, and some people say that's not realistic when you're online, but you can make it realistic, because if enough people stand up and enough people say, this is not what I'm going to stand for, this is not what I'm here for. I came here to get my education. I came here to matriculate and better myself, not to be beaten, not to be degraded, and not to be mistreated. That always bothered me, where you can beat me while I'm online, degrade me, but as soon as I cross, you want to say, what's up, Fred, or what's up, Soror, like, everything is good. Bitch, you slap me in my face. Bitch, soon as I cross, I'm about to wear your motherfucking ass out. You know, that bothers me. How can you beat me for 6 months, 9 months, 2 years, 3, whatever, and then as soon as I cross, thank you for being a friend. Travel down the road and back again. Your heart is true and a pal and a confidant. No, we're not Ace Boom Coons. We're not friends. What are you instilling into me by beating me? What are you trying to teaching me by degrading me? What? I mean, explain it to me, because I'm not getting it. Put it on the dumbest term that you possibly can. Break it down to the commonest denominator in math. Break it down. What are you teaching me? I'm my brother's keeper, but how are you keeping me when you slapping me and beating me and making me do degrading things? Explain that to me. Give me your rationale. If you can honestly make it make sense, I might go along with you. But I believe it's going to sound like a whole bunch of bullshit. I'm happy. You might think I'm wrong. I went to Dr. White's Facebook page. People on there, thank you for being a friend, and thank you for your, your sternness, and this, that, and other. I love you, da, 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 da. This reminds me of the Penn State scandal. This man, Joe Paterno, knew all this crap was going on. But when he got fired from Penn State, instead of people saying, oh my God, you witnessed molestation, or you knew about the molestation of children, we can't support you anymore. They're rallying behind this man. We love you, Joe. We love you, Joe. But this man aided molestation of children. What kind of sense does that make? Why are you, praising a man that let children get molested? Yes, he was not there, but he knew of what was going on. Same situation now. Dr. White, no, that man ain't deaf, dumb, blind, or goddamn dumb. He know his name is doctor, and that's not an honorary doctor. That man went to goddamn school. He matriculated. So he ain't as dumb as he look or as dumb as he seems. He know exactly what was going on. So how can you say you don't know, you were not aware of these hazing practices? And you have these dumbass people that came through the band, not all, some, that came through the band that's rallying, behind Dr. White. Thank you for being a friend. Thank you for, being there when I needed you. And yes, I'm not saying that he is a bad man, but I cannot support somebody that enables or turns a blind eye, blind ear, to when you know something wrong is going on. What kind of person is that? Because it could be somebody today, but it could be you tomorrow. And would your feelings still be the same? Thank you for being a friend. Thank you for traveling down the road and back again. Your heart is sure you a pal and a confidant. If I threw a party and invited everyone I knew, you would see the biggest gift would be for me, and I thank you for being a friend. Bullshit. Bullshit. I can only look out for me. And if somebody starts to beat me and tear me down and all that, hell yeah, I'm going to Dr. White. And I'm sure he's been told before, Dr. White, there's some shit going on that you need to know about. They mean behind a tree at 11:30. You know, all that good stuff. You cannot be that oblivious to the fact. So, I'm saying all this to say, the shit that hit the fans, and the shit ain't over with yet. As they called it in band back in the day, it was called shaking the tree. Shaking the tree is when they went down the line to make sure you knew your parts. So sometimes, you know, you can play with the band and you can camouflage what you know and what you don't know. But when they shook the tree, it went one person by one person. You'll play a particular passage of the whole song, and it would tell a story if you knew your music or not. And right now, they shaking the motherfucking tree. The first fruit to fall was Dr. Julian E. White, and I'm sure he is not going to be the first. Ooh, excuse me, Lord Lagas. I'm sure he is not going to be the first one. So Shelby Chipman, Lindsey Sargent, Deneen White, the rest of them under the band, I can't. What's his name? He got a female name. I can't think. Charmaine. I can't think of Charmaine last name, but he's a percussion man over. All y'all better dot y'all I's and cross your motherfucking T's, cause it's in the fan. And when Rick Scott didn't get on to it, you got a problem. We got a problem, cause this shit was on Good Morning America this morning. When you you're no longer local. You're no longer local. You're no longer even state news. When you get on national news, Good Morning America, with the black folks, white folks, Hispanics, and everybody else, something going on. We was on Good Morning America this Thanksgiving morning, when we should be giving thanks to the good Lord that we didn't get freed from slavery. We got freed from Bush. Hopefully we'll be free from Rick Scott sometime soon. When the Champion family should be having dinner with their son, we on the national news. Mourning the death of a young man that didn't have to die, because you got these stupid ass young folks that want to beat folks with sticks and stones and all that stuff. None of stupid. They need to get expelled too. I'm like Law and Order. Y'all seen Law and Order? They come into the room and they say the first one to sing gets the deal. Bitch, I'm about to sing like Pavarotti and Patti LaBelle. I'm going to say who was on the bus, what they doing, what they had on. Now, I might even say, yeah, I got me a couple of licks in, but I was around the kneecaps. I ain't getting nothing up in the stomach. I was around the legs. I tripped him, or, I was at the back of the bus. By the time he got back down there, he was so beat down, it wasn't nothing for me to do. I just let him go. Or I was in the bathroom on the back of the bus. I was in there shitting, so I didn't know what was going on. I just heard a lot of screaming going on, but I was too worried about my own bowels, so I didn't come out the bathroom. I'm going to be the first one to say, you call me Uncle Tom, or Singing George, or Scared George, whatever his name is, some Chicken George. I'm going to let them know, yes, God, they had bats, brooms, and mops. I'm going to let you know everything. So my thing is, out of all this said and done, people, young folks coming up, they will only do what you allow them to do. Do you want to die? Do you want to live? Do you want to die? Do you want to live? Do you want to die or do you want to live? Folks in the band, are you going to graduate? Probably not. Or you're going to get expelled and you just wasted all this money. Do you want to graduate? Probably not. Nor do you want to get expelled and waste all this money. Folks in the administrative position, do you want to keep your jobs? The ones that still have them? Excluding Dr. White? I know you do. Times hard. You ain't saving no money. Y'all living fat. Do you want to keep your job? Or do you want to get fired? Laid off? And ain't nobody going to hire you when you got hazing. Why you got fired? Well, I am aiding and abetting a felon. I knew hazing was going on. And I ain't do nothing to stop it. So, that's the point of my video. I'm done. I'm going to do another follow because I'm waiting to see what's going to happen. A lot more people about to get fired. This shit ain't even, this is far from over. Like mama say, mark my words. Mark my words. This is far from over. And I tell you, when James gets start slinging that slate around old Ammons, he gonna separate the wheat from the whatever that. See, I like all these old slavery quotes. He gonna separate the wheat from the chaff. The cotton from the shed. No, the wheat. Yeah, wheat comes on the shed. You have to separate it to get the wheat from it, to fertilize it and pasteurize it before you can use it. So, that's all I'm going to say. This is another episode. Take it how you want it. You might like what I'm saying. You might hate what I'm saying. But this is my opinion. If you don't like it, make a fucking video. But other than that, y'all, prayers go out to the Champion family in all sincerity. We wish this was not the case, but I hope in the midst of this tragedy, they will make some new precedent, which I believe they're doing, or a new law, the Robert Champion law, which maybe bumps up this to instead of a third-degree felony, a first-degree felony or something like that. Be diligent, be prayed up, and there's nothing that God cannot heal and take the hurt away. I know you're hurting at this point in time, but it will get better. Not today, not tomorrow, but each day where it passes by, the hurt will get smaller and smaller. It will never go away, but it will get smaller and smaller. So my prayers are out to you, to those students that knew him, loved him, even the ones that knew him and loved him and still beat him. My prayers are for you, because you got some other stuff coming. Because karma is a bitch. And when she comes back with a awful vengeance. So yes. Anyways, this is it once again. This is your boy Sebastian Bonet. Another episode of What's Tea with Sebastian Bonet. Be sure to follow me on Twitter at Sebastian Bonet. Definitely hit me up on my website, whatsteaphotography.com. Or get me at me on Facebook if you know how to find me. Alright, y'all be blessed, be well, and happy Thanksgiving. Be easy. Ciao.